All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to your Monday live lighting critique here at the Academy of Animated Art. My name is Mike Tanzillo. So to get things rolling, what we're going to do today is I'm going to take a look at the student artwork that was submitted over the weekend, and we're going to do a lighting critique. So we've got a bunch of different still images here. A lot from Adam, because Adam is due today as our August lighting challenge. But we've got some other stuff to go through too. So we've got some still images. We've got a couple animated shots, and then we've got a breakdown here of Adam as well. So we're going to go through all three of those. But as a quick reminder, don't forget to post your submissions, and we will continue going forward. And of course, whenever I start recording, there's always a pop-up. Here's a post in today's final submission. Okay, great. So Dipali, I have your current one, so I'll give you some feedback in case you want to update. So I wanted to make sure, this is a little earlier than I record these, but I wanted to make sure to give you all the opportunity to make adjustments today. Also, if my speech is a little slurred, I do have, I'm quite swollen. I had my dental surgery on Friday, and my face is still very puffy from it. So if I slur my words, that is why. Okay, so let's get into doing some critiquing here. Let me shift my body to look at my second screen here. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to chime in on the Facebook in the live comments down below. If you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, feel free to comment down below as well. And I will make sure to circle back. So let's take a look. So this is Sylvain's entry. This is for Adam. This is looking really good. The biggest thing that I would adjust about this, and this is kind of a, let's take this back. This is kind of a dumb one, is that this light source over here is a little bit clipped off. I would just make that a little brighter. It just appears like it's interesting because it's in the plate, but it's just that it's not white. And if it's causing this much light, I would just push that a little bit brighter. The other thing that I would experiment around with, and this totally depends on the mood that you're going for, but if it was me personally, I would push just a touch, just like a nudge more of warmth into his skin. Just because it's just feeling just like a touch, not like it's still desaturated. If I keep it in this range, like it still falls into the environment. It's just like he doesn't quite feel as dead in the skin tones. Just something, just like a touch more to push him a little bit further. The other thing that I would do is watch out for these these like straight slashes of eye dings are it's a little direct. I would just make it slightly bigger and make it more like square on either side here, similar to what we're seeing on the window reflection. And then also make the eye whites just a touch brighter. But I love this rim light that you're getting here. I love the key light. This could actually come down just a touch to make sure that this is the dominant light. This is looking really good here in the foreground. I love the saturation value. This feels, I'm totally aware of him, but also ignoring him at the same time. I love, look at, like for others, I'll come back to this one, but look at the variation in the skin tone. Like look at the specular highlights in here and the subtle differences coming along the skin tones. I think that's looking really, really, really good. So overall, other than those two modifications, I think that this is looking in a really good spot. Abhishek, so let's go ahead and hop over into your breakdown here just so everyone can take a look at that. Well, I tell you what, let's do this first, and then we'll go into that one. So nice soft lighting overall. Everything's looking really good. This specular highlight on the neck is a little bit strong, and this shadow along here is a little bit dark. I would try and soften that a little bit, and then try and push just a touch more of this this kind of specularity into the skin tone on his screen left side. So just like a little bit more into that cheek and a little bit down in here. And then same with, you see the variation in the hair? Same thing, like just with the amount of light coming down, maybe just like a touch more variation in this hair. But, oh, and then this over here is looking a little, something's off here. So it feels like this is out of focus. Like, do you see how this is out of focus here? It like feels like this is very, very sharp. And then like I want this to be as out of focus as the pants over here on this side. So just something to keep in mind there. Yeah, okay, let's take a look at your breakdown here. That looks really nice. Like the build-up. Building up more. Building up more. Okay, I think it's good. I don't think that you should cut away. I think you should maybe. It's just because what I'm looking at is this one. As you go from here, okay, building up, building up, building up. Okay, and then they go away. We want to build it, right? So we don't want to take anything away. So it's either a build up or it's a breakdown. In that you, so I would start with this background, and then add. But you can do it either way, really. You could start with just the background and then build the layers on top of it, or you could build up the character here, and then when you add the background, just add it in. Don't again, it's not it doesn't, you don't need to showcase it, because again, there's not much to it. So it's just like some posters on a wall, which are all well and good, but just keep it blurred and just drop it in behind the character. You want it to be like an additive thing, so you're building towards the final image. But other than that, it's good. I think the pacing could be a little bit faster between the cuts. Also, the wipes. Let me check this again. It looks like the wipes are happening at different speeds. So that's kind of slow. Kind of slow. That one's a little bit faster. A little faster. That one's just a cut. That's kind of a wipe. Okay. So I would just make that consistent. If you're going to wipe it, just wipe at the same speed each time. So it feels like a rhythm. But that is my comments there. Okay. Now let us, let's take a look at these videos while we're on our way back. So this is Maro's. Little boy in the movie theater here. Yeah. This type of dramatic shift is really, really nice. I think it could be a little bit faster, if that's possible. But other than that, I think this works out really great. I think the look of it's really nice. I love the spot on his face. The amount of displacement in the glasses might be a little bit strong, just because that almost feels like a old stained glass window. It might be a little bit crisper than this. But that would be all. And then if there's any chance of getting any of this in the any that movement from that reflection into the lenses of the glasses as well would be a major benefit. And also just go ahead and darken up his nose in here a little bit. That would be good too. Maybe a little ambient occlusion there. But yeah, looking great, man. Not too many notes there. All right, shifting gears slightly. So we've got Tyler, and you know what? We'll do this now. So this is one of the creature attack scenes. Okay, so my biggest thing when I'm taking a look at this right off the gate is that there's a disconnect between the character and the environment, mostly based on the color. You're getting, he's reading as warm off of cool. That's really nice, but he has so much warm light on him, but there's really none of that on the surroundings. There's not enough tying them all together. And we want to really kind of feel, it feels very light linked at this point. So these spotlights that are shining in at him, I should see it on this building. I should, when they shine upward, I should see him on this building. I should see them here when it's kind of shining all over the place. And then likewise, his lighting should change slightly as he's stepping into this blue light. It's just more interactivity between the character and the surroundings. Also, the value of the character's light stays pretty consistent throughout until the very end here. I like that this light kind of pops on. But I think that overall, it might actually be that there's too much complexity going on and we need to simplify it a little bit. Let's take it as Yeah, let's simplify this a little bit. Let's say that this monster has caused a power outage in the city. So let's say that all these lights are off just for the sake of argument. What would we be getting? So we'd be getting a character like in darkness down here that pops up into these spotlights. The spotlights are like kind of searching and finding and locating the character. So now it gets very bright. And then as he leans down, more lights get on him. And then it becomes very in your face and very bright. Or you could do it, and then if you take that and start to add in, okay, so maybe he didn't knock out the power. So now we've got these other buildings. Like, what does that mean? So he may not be in total darkness down here, but like this green light is now just picking up a little bit of a rim on him. So, and maybe, this light is theoretically hitting right here, but like all of this kind of becomes in shadow. So there's a little bit of a mystery about who he is and what he is. And he's matching, like, the fact that he's bright here and then the building is this dark here, like we need to match their tones up. And I would keep the spotlight off of him until he pops up so that you can just kind of start to read these values. And then as he pops up in here, now we can start to read the character going forward. And now we can step into this. So the other part that's the added complexity is the multiple light sources on the character himself. Like his eyes are glowing. The interior of the mouth is, or his whole body, his whole being is glowing on the inside. So I think that we should simplify that a little bit in terms of there's a lot going on. I would say either have the eyes or the inside of the mouth glow. I wouldn't, and I would probably take away the interior mouth glow because like this. Several reasons. One, this is revealing that there's not a lot of geometry in there, and we don't really want to do that. Two, there's a lot of noise that I'm guessing is probably caused from interpenetrating the light from the geometry. And it's like, again, if there was more of it shining into the environment, that would be something, but it's like, it's really isolated to just the character. And I think that we're hitting the character with other lights in other areas to really get the focus on it, that we don't necessarily need that. Now, if that's crucial to the story that you want to tell, totally fine. We can just reconfigure from there. Yeah, so I think with this one, it's really about simplifying the lighting structure and getting the character to reveal and then step forward into the, like, and have the ultimate lighting build up as the shot goes on. And then integrating it with the surroundings. So I would say just take a step back, take another stab at the motivation for the lighting, maybe find some reference images, because it would help to get an idea of motivation. The other big thing with lighting this guy is he looks very dry. And with lizards, dinosaurs, you really want the specularity of the skin. You want to feel like the scaliness of the skin kind of be picking up. So make sure that you are paying attention to that as well. Okay. Let's take a look at some more of these. So we've got Adam here, another version. Very cool stuff. Again, Ashley, love the color palette. Think that's working out really well. The disconnect between how bright this light is versus how bright it is on the face is a little bit disjointed. Like I think you could go, like this should definitely go brighter, and then this can actually kind of tone down to match those in. For the eyes, just make sure that we are seeing like a movie theater style eye ding or eye shape in there. Love this little bit of light kind of coming in here. This exit light's starting to lose some of its saturation. Maybe just pull that back into a more of a pure red, just because that's like an iconic like exit light thing. The rim on the seats, we adjusted that. That's looking a lot better. Then I wonder, as the last thing, if we can just get a little bit more volumetric light from this one. Like, let's taking a look at Moros here. At the like look at the amount of projector light that's back there, and I think that really helps out a lot. So I think you can incorporate that into yours and make it a little bit tighter. Maybe not so much over here. Like darken this area and then just darken this area over here. And then just really make this more volumetric in there to kind of help make that stand out. Yeah, your color palette's really, really beautiful on this one. Definitely like that. So Danny, thank you for your kind words about our presentation. We were very excited about that. Yes, so I would say, I see you added the background here. I think you can put it out of focus because the detail on this is nice, but it's more detail than what's on the character, and it's drawing our eye back there. Let's try and take a look at him here. Again, for those that are just joining us with Danny's, this is a rear lighting situation that's similar to the Joker. It's a very, very difficult lighting situation on him. Just wondering. It's really tough. I think we can go more contrasty on him. Just to kind of match. But you can see it in here. Let's take that down just a little bit. That can go a little bit brighter, but and let's take this. Let's take down some hues a little bit. So now it's getting a little bit saturated. Eesh. Pushing a little more color here. So I think that, like you can see here, we're just kind of, let's take this down here. Okay, let's take a look at this. So now we can push, if you push these values more, you can see now we're starting to get some more shaping. Now we're starting to get some more visual contrast on them that can really, really like help get him into that mood that we're looking for. That like top-down lighting, but allowing him to pop off in the background a little bit more. You've got a lot of shapes going on in the face. You may want to think about increasing the radius on that overhead light, but just play around with it, because like really what it is, it might just be a thing too, because really what it is we're just kind of losing his eyes in here, just in like the multitude of shapes. So it might just be a matter of like a little bit of a fill light just in that region right around his eyes to kind of lift those values, just because he's like, it's really just this shape in here that's kind of problematic, and just kind of softening those dark values I think would help out a lot. And then watch out for like some of these values look a little bit clamped. It's just getting a little bit more like darkness in here, and I think that could help out a lot. Like I said, the depth of field. I'm trying to think what else. And then, yeah. And the eye dings can come down a little bit just because it's not a very bright scene. So just toning those back just a little bit would really help. But yeah, like I said, challenging shot, but you're coming along really nicely. DePauli, I know you just posted your final, but I just, one thing about this one is I think, again, with the background, I think that we can shift the hue slightly. Like, do you see how there's more yellows in the reference? I think we can match that. Put in just like a touch more. But like that could be different than the character, just to create a little bit more separation. Just pulling out, like, so that the reds of the character and the warmth of the character can really pop off from just slightly cooled, slightly green, yellowed background, just to age up the background a little bit too, and make it feel like all those lights are tungsten lights. And then the last one would be, do you see how bright this light is? Just try and get those to match that like kind of brightness back there, so we don't lose that brighter value. And we've got Kevin here. So Kevin, yes. So keep going. You keep pushing. This is really good. I would say Sylvain's is a great example. Again, look at the variation in the key area, and again, a lot of it's in the specular value, because I know that we've talked about this, and this is a tough one with this. And really, what's happening is your values are getting muted and flat in here. So this is a combination of the light source being very large, the material value not being being a little bit too diffuse and not relying enough on the specular values. This is a little bit about, it might be the subsurface is too squishy and the scale isn't quite right. And a lot of this, like maybe Sylvain, who's been doing this for a little while longer, Sylvain might be rendering out separate specular passes as well and adding those in, similar to what we did in the C-graph presentation. So that could be something as well. But the idea is just to create more variation and then, or create more specularity in the skin. The skin tone itself is looking a little bit on the pinkish side right now. So if we just pull that down just a little bit. Just look at the skin tone there. I think that will pull out some of those, the salmon colors out of it. And then, yeah, I would say that's the biggest one. And then looks like there's a sharp shadow line right here. Just watch out for that. But yeah, but going forward, that will be the biggest challenge for you with character lighting is just getting that specular highlight to go. Because you're doing, the rest of it's looking really good based on your reference. Like I said, this yellow light feels too extreme on its own, but in conjunction with that Pirates of the Caribbean reference, it makes sense. And then it's just the other thing too is the separation and saturation here between this is like, we're just looking at this area, like the very warm skin tone versus the very cool shirt. And that, I feel like that's probably caused by some manipulation in the comp. So that's probably on me overnoting you and pushing you too far that way. But I think that it's just something to keep our eye on as we're going forward there. All right, so Shibli, I believe this is the last one. So this is our alley scene. Found some reference here on the Instagrams. What's this ArtStation? ArtStation now looks just like Instagram, but yeah, no, that's Instagram. So taking a look at this, the biggest things that you're looking at are the cool versus warm tone differences, the softness of the light coming down here, the fact that it's very bright inside this room and it falls off gently into the outside, and then just kind of this mixing of interior and exterior light. It's a night scene, but it seems like a crystal clear night with lots of light shining in. Yeah, so you've got the kind of the overall tone of the sky, I think is looking pretty good. It would be nice to get more of a gradient up here. Do you see how you're seeing like a gradient coming down here? It'd be nice to get something similar up there. The way that this is super bright inside here, it would be nice to read that through this window because it feels like that those are in the same room. So to feel it through the window coming out the door would be really great. Looking at the value of the light being projected on the ground, I think that this is much brighter than what we're seeing here. So I think you can really push that and push those values. I would not worry about turning these lights on because looking at the reference, there's very little else because the sole focus is right here on the foreground. And it would be great if yours was the same way, where our sole focus was right here and all of this stuff just kind of fell back. Watch out for weird UV thing going on here. See that? Where like the building texture kind of cuts off. Just pay attention to that one there. This area in here, like just double check these leaves. Something wacky seems to be going on there. Like there's a lot of specularity. It feels very flat. Like it feels very two-dimensional in there. And then as you're going across off the bottom here, you may just want to tone down this area. Because again, you really just kind of want to focus everything in on the middle, taking off these lights. A little bit darker, I guess, in the background back here too, to kind of centralize the focus here. And same thing that's going on with the leaves is happening here, where it's like super saturated, super blue, like broad speculars. And you really wouldn't see that much cool, like saturated specularity on the leaves there. But yeah, I think that's a good first step for you to go forward from there. yeah, let me just make sure there's more light coming out of this window because that can help contribute to all of this as well. So yeah, I hope you guys found that beneficial. Like I said, reminder, Adam's due today. We will make the announcement for the winner on probably Wednesday because I'll use tomorrow to gather it all up. But since this is the end of one monthly lighting challenge, we'll have an announcement for the next one later today. And yeah, we'll be in good shape. So let me know if you guys, like I said, feel free, comment down below if you're watching this later. Hey, Nicholas, just seeing you there. Sorry, I had this kind of lower in my screen. Hope all is well with you. Yeah, but keep going, keep sharing. Let me know. Yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions between now and the submission time. But we're very, very excited for this one. I think his character's looking really cool. There's a lot of beautiful images. I'm just really excited to see what you all come up with. So thank you guys very much, and we will talk to you all very soon. All right. Happy lighting, everyone.